Don't be a dick. The warning signs that you're dating a total jerk. Thank you so much for tuning into Second Act TV. Once again, I want to welcome back Treva Brandon Scharf, the dating coach, relationship expert, and the author of Done Being Single. Treva, thank you so much for joining me again.
Thank you for having me.
Treva, I am looking forward to our conversation today. This is like so you when I found this topic. Don't be a dick. The warning signs that you're dating a total jerk. There's actually a lot written about the don't be a dick thing. It's really funny. What I do want to say right away before, it's like, ooh, you're man bashing. No, 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 no. Women can be dicks too. Women
Oh,
can be
yes.
jerks too. Matter of
Oh,
fact, that's one of the
yes.
things that's acknowledged quickly if you ever search
Yes.
this topic. So, I mean, I'm sure you agree with me on that, right?
They're chick dicks.
So
I'm
there's a
just,
lot of what they call jerkery and dickery or something. I mean, some of the
yeah.
words were so funny that it's not gender specific.
Nope.
The other
Mm-mm.
thing that I want to acknowledge right away is that there's a huge difference between a narcissist and a
Mm-hmm.
quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote
Mm-hmm.
jerk. I think we overuse the term narcissist because that's actually mental illness. Narcissism is not, it's really not curable. You choose to be a jerk. So let's look at some of these that we really need to be aware of. How do you know you're dating a total jerk? Here's number one. You make excuses for their behavior to yourself or worse, your family, your friends. Oh, he was too tired. He was too this. Is that something that you often do?
Listen, we can talk about jerks and dicks all day, but if you are putting if you are putting up with one and making
Mm-hmm.
excuses for one, then you're the jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the truth. People aren't dumb in our age group are not dumb. We know good behavior, regardless of how lonely or desperate or horny or whatever you are. If you're putting up with that kind of behavior, that
It's
says
not
more
going to
about
go anywhere. That's a
right. It's
huge
more
red flag.
it says
Yeah.
more about you than it does the actual jerk or dick. But yes,
Yeah, it's really hard. Like you said, we don't we sometimes we just don't want it to be true. Repetitive behavior like this, if you're always making excuses, that you're
yes,
it's not gonna get any better. And that could be a narcissist or a jerk. Doesn't matter.
yeah, yes,
Same
yes, yes, yes,
result.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. We know a jerk
Uh,
when we see one.
Here's another really interesting one that their attention feels like a drug to you. That when someone shows you attention, you feel happy. And on the other hand, if they take it away, you feel overly hurt. Are there just these dramatic feelings associated with how they treat you?
The truth is I've been that person. I haven't been the
Mm-hmm.
jerk. I've been the on the receiving end of a jerk. Again, check in with yourself, right? If this person is causing you great like swings of joy and bliss and
Yeah.
or angst and worry and there is something very manipulative about that, and there's something very terribly inconsiderate. At the very least, that person has no awareness of how he or she is coming off. And it is on you to say, time out.
Yeah, this reminds me. It's funny how things pop up. But in college, I dated someone, and I kept a diary at the time. And I found that just a while ago while I was cleaning out my anyway. I threw everything away, and I wrote in there every day. My day was based on how this person was
Yes.
treating me. So and so, oh, he was so nice today. Oh, today he was so. And I'm looking at this, and I'm just, oh my God, have I carried this into unconsciously into adulthood? So that's kind of what we're talking about. Is your
Yeah.
behavior really dependent on that? I mean, that does say something about you as well. However, it could also mean that this back and forth that they're doing that to you, like a narcissist would, or in this case, a
Yes.
jerk.
Yeah. It shouldn't, someone else's, behavior shouldn't determine your day. That's giving them way too much power. And first of all, and then secondly, it says just so much about that person that they aren't taking your feelings into account at all. That's such a
Right.
lack of self-reflectiveness and awareness.
Yeah, get yourself out of that situation. Again, if it's a narcissist, then you just walk away. If it's a jerk, I don't know.
Yes.
You maybe his eyes will open and he'll stop doing that. That's a
Oh
good
yeah,
part about a
I'm
jerk.
as we go through this list, I'm thinking there's no harm in saying something. You can always
Mm-hmm.
say, "Listen, here's what's up. I'm
Yeah.
feeling this, and this. You're and is it, I don't think it's my imagination. I
Mm-hmm.
don't appreciate when you say these things or don't do these things. I mean, that's you have free will. You have a voice if you
Right.
care enough.
Exactly. Another one here, they toss you crumbs and regularly flake on you. Is that they just give you enough, to keep you interested, but they really don't ever have time for you, that you never feel like a priority. That's a real jerk.
That is not just a jerk, that's someone who has zero intentions to be a good person. No, and obviously someone who is not interested in something deeper, more meaningful. They will tell you everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just be observant and listen, and because action is everything. And I
Exactly.
and I will say that anybody, man or a woman will put her dick through glass to be with you if they want to be with you. That is the
Mm-hmm.
bottom line. I don't even know what the rest of the list is, but I can tell
Mm-hmm.
you if this person means business, whether you're a man or a woman,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
show it,
If
you
they
act
if they
it.
flake or crumb you,
Yeah.
crumbing, which is
Oh,
another
right.
behavior,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of
absolutely
myself.
can be male and male, a
Oh,
guy or a
yes.
woman is what I'm trying to
Of
say.
course.
And don't put up with it. Just
No,
don't put up
no,
with it. It's not going to
no, no, no,
improve.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
it might improve if you say something and they think they're going to lose you again. A narcissist doesn't matter,
Yeah,
but a jerk or a dick might take
maybe they're
notice.
completely oblivious. There is a possibility of that. I kind of have a hard time thinking that somebody would be that unaware that they don't know what they're doing and how the effect that they have on someone. But if
Mm-hmm.
they're breadcrumbing or benching you or
Yeah.
any of these other things, that's another way of saying, no, we probably don't have a future. I don't really care that much. I'm keeping you sort of there, but not really. I'm throwing just enough bait in the water to keep you swimming. Say something if you feel it. If not, just,
Here's another one. They insist that you do everything to their standards. It doesn't matter what you do, you always feel like you're not doing it right.
okay. I'm all for compromise. Don't get me wrong, people. Got to be flexible. But if somebody is chronically making you feel like you're not doing enough or you're not doing
Mm-hmm.
it right or not my way or it's my way or the
Yeah.
highway,
If the
either this
relationship,
or
yeah, the
this.
relationship just feels the relationship just feels difficult. If you're not
Yeah.
getting any joy from this and you're constantly just trying to please, that's a jerk. That's
No,
a
that's a
that's a
jerk.
jerk.
And that's just you're giving up all of your power, which is demoralizing.
Oh, it's terribly demoralizing.
Yes.
Terribly demoralizing.
Terrible.
That's which is why you need to get away. Another point here: when you need them, they're too busy. That they're just totally selfish. Your needs just really don't matter.
Yeah. So here's how you kind of gauge that. Think about what would feel good for you. How would you like to be treated? What would you rather him say to you? What would you love to hear her say to you? And if you're not hearing it, if you're not getting it after a certain period of time, again, you can say something, speak up. You may be doing that person a favor by cluing them in. They may not have an idea of, oh, Jesus, really, thank you. Or this may be their MO and this is what you get. In that case, again, adios.
Right.
Sorry, that person is not the last great guy or woman on the planet.
Yeah. Selfish behavior is tough, especially, well, for me, because I tend to be a people pleaser, especially when it comes to men. I was raised that way. Maybe they're really not as selfish as maybe they end up being, but by you catering to them, they become more and more. You're actually enforcing that. Here's one that's a difficult one too. They're disrespectful to you and use humor to insult you. So I'm also translating that as sarcasm, that they're sarcastic and it hurts.
It says so much about that person that they feel the need to make you feel bad or to put you down, to mock you or pick on you or fall. Homie, don't
Mm-hmm.
play that. I don't.
Don't play that.
Oh
Now
no,
you're dating
no,
yourself.
no, no. Listen. I love some good sarcasm. Don't get me wrong. I roll with, and by the way, I'm super self-deprecating. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I can be made fun of all day long to a point.
Mm-hmm.
When it becomes excessive or demoralizing, it or hurtful. That's a line. And it tells you that the person's a dick,
Exactly. The person
right?
is a dick if that's because you do know you're not stupid. I mean, the jerk or the
Right.
dick. This is just going over the top, and I have seen this kind of smile. You're afraid to say anything, and that's just something that you just can't
Yeah,
sustain.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and worse, if you do say something that they say that, oh, you're too sensitive, then again it's your fault because you're too sensitive.
Okay, we all have our sensitivities. We all have our boundaries. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything wrong in saying, time out.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're trying to be funny, but you need to know that these things kind of hurt my feelings. Pardon me, at the risk of sounding like I'm oversensitive or insecure, which I may be, okay. It doesn't feel good.
Here's an interesting one. They don't ever ask about you, that they don't show any interest really in your feelings, your thoughts, your hobbies, your life. They just don't talk about you. Either talk about themselves, but not you.
I actually have a client that's dealing with someone that she met who's kind of like that. Never really asks about her. I intuitively feel that he's just keeping her a little bit at an arm's distance because I don't think he wants to get that deep with her. Because if you start asking questions, that means you're A, interested, B, you want to get closer, C, there may be a future here. I mean, and all those things, if someone is if not asking those questions, chances are, I think that's what we're talking about. Or D, they don't want to
Mm-hmm.
ask you questions because they don't want you to ask them questions.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a guard. And after a while, it gets really old. Not only gets old, it's like gives away his hand. You
Mm-hmm.
clearly aren't interested. So why don't you just, say it? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
interested. I'm not going to keep, stringing you along, which is what
Mm-hmm.
people do. Texting, texting, texting,
Mm-hmm.
texting.
Well, and it doesn't matter what the reason is. If they're not interested in you, no, or not showing any interest, then get out. That's not going to go anywhere.
Right, right. It's tedious. It gets tiring. So, and then it becomes what it is. No, I guess he's not that interested. And so,
Mm-hmm.
next.
Well, finally, here they use how damaged they are as an excuse when you get upset at their poor behavior. So, meaning when you do say something and they can't immediately defend it, it's, well, I had a bad relationship and blah blah blah. It's like, I was hurt, I'm damaged. That's why I'm
Okay.
acting that way. So now you're making excuses
Right.
for them.
So I have some thoughts on this. We are at a certain age where, okay, yes, we've been through some stuff, right? People have their baggage, and it's on us to handle our baggage. And it makes us who we are, and it gives us depth and character. And I just want to just say that
Mm-hmm.
because you should never be ashamed of it. It's important
Mm-hmm.
that you own it and
Yeah.
lean into it. With that said, though, we need to manage it. And I also think there's something very brave about saying, yes, I've had a shitty childhood. I had a really bad marriage. I had some abuse. I had this. I had some disappointments, but I'm okay and I'm managing it and I deal with it. That's really empowering for you, and
Right.
it bodes well for the future of the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. There might be an isolated incident where something like that would occur. Like, you know what? Hey, I'm sorry. But if this,
Right.
having been hurt doesn't give you
No,
yeah,
no, 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 it does not. And you cannot keep making excuses for it
mm-hmm.
or using it as a way to get yourself out of things. when you are wrong or when you've hurt someone or when you've acted inappropriately, those excuses will only last you so long. And we are not perfect. We are all flawed, all of us. But here's what, the best apologies are changed behavior. Show me you mean what you say. Show
Mhm.
me that, okay, you're making the best out of what you came from.
Mhm.
That is encouraging to me. That would say, all right,
Yeah.
this guy had some issues or she had some issues. But
That's the big difference between a narcissist and a jerk or a dick.
yes,
You
yes,
have the choice to change
yes.
and stop if this relationship with this person is meaningful to you.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I just want to close by saying
Mhm.
something that
Yes.
occurred to me when we first started talking about this
Okay.
subject. I think that technology and dating apps and online dating has created such horrific behavior in people. These are the things that you just listed.
Mhm.
I don't ever remember really dealing with these kinds of hideous, egregious things before online dating. I don't
Mhm.
believe people did these things to each other. I think people were dicks and jerks. Okay, yes, we had a degree of that,
Mhm.
of course, but not to the extent that
That's
it
good.
is now. Everyone, it's like common, it's every day.
Mhm.
It is like every day, a thousand death by a thousand cuts, right?
Mhm.
As long as you're online, you're dealing with some form, another person who's a dick or a jerk or selfish or lazy, okay, thoughtless or inconsiderate. Am I right?
Well,
That
you're
it's
you're you're invisible online or
right.
anonymous, so your
It's
behavior doesn't have any consequences for the most part.
no
And then when you yeah,
consequences.
and when you don't have that, then eventually you carry that into the real world. It is
Correct.
absolutely a dynamic that we need to be aware of.
I feel hopeful and encouraged because we are speaking to people of a certain age
Hmm.
who know a time before technology,
Hmm.
who dated in a time before dating apps. And I believe in all of you that you will do the right thing and be kind and nice to people because back in the day, you didn't get away with this shit. For some reason I feel like we've lost our sense of accountability. And you're right
Hmm.
about the anonymity, being behind a screen. It breeds really bad behavior. I think it's on us to treat each, if you're going to be dating in your age
Hmm.
range, to treat each other with kindness.
Trevor, thank you so much. As usual, I will link to all of your
Thank you.
information,
Thank you so much.
particularly your book. Read the book. It's such a great read. And of course, your landing page, your coaching page. If you need some extra help, if you'd like some extra help about this dating world that we find ourselves in today, do give Treva a call. She's a wonderful coach and she's so fun to talk to. So
Thank you.
thank you
Thanks.
again, Treva. Always appreciate your time,
Thank
and I'll
you.
look forward to talking with you again soon
Thanks to
on
all your
Second Act
viewers.
TV.
And thank you to your viewers. I love them so much.